Welcome to the Tribute Tribe podcast, episode number 2 with Dominic Antonelli of the band WEEZERTON. Tribute to Weezer. First off, an apology because this episode was actually recorded at the end of March with Dominic, and it's taken me almost a month to get this thing edited and get it online. So sincere apologies to everybody who's been waiting for the next podcast. I'm the only one working on this thing, and my schedule sometimes gets in the way of making forward progress. So, we'll get episodes when we can, not, semi-regularly, but not really super firm on the schedule as of yet. Maybe at some point might take on another person to help edit and get this stuff done. But for the meantime, it's just me, so sincere apologies, especially to Dominic for being so patient, for getting this online. He was really excited to be on this podcast, and we're really excited to have him. Love the band WEEZERTON. You can find information about WEEZERTON on Facebook at facebook.com/WEEZERTONAZ. So Weezer, T-O-N-A-Z, because they're from Yuma, Arizona. And actually, they come by Southern California an awful lot, considering how far away they are. But they are a fantastic band. If you get a chance to go see them, please do. They're actually playing with us at the Boiler Room in Temecula, and by say us, as in my Faith No More tribute band is playing with them on June 24th, Friday, June 24th, at the Boiler Room in Temecula. So you can see WEEZERTON and my band as well. So also, you can find them also at WEEZERTON.com. So this is also the first episode where we recorded the guest via Skype. So Dominic came in via Skype because he's all the way in Arizona, and I'm in Murrieta. So it came out, I think, fairly good for the first attempt, but we learned a few things along the way. So again, please bear with us with the sound quality a little bit. Blah, 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 audio nerd, blah. Anyways, let's get right into it. Tribute Tribe podcast, episode number 2. With Dominic Antonelli of WEEZERTON.
Found a mic stand, so it's a little easier.
Yeah. Well, I was going to get more of these little boom stand things, or try to find some table mount things. But at some point, I'm going to actually set up a table, maybe in one of my rooms, with pre-done mics, and then maybe just have people come over here. But I haven't figured that out yet.
You did Billy's remotely?
I did his at his studio. And I brought my stuff to him. That's right. And I can do that, but I haven't gotten fully around to completely sorting that out. So I kind of did it on the fly, and plus it's a pain in the butt.
Other people's stuff. Yeah,
first world problems. Well, it's not even other people's stuff. It's actually my stuff. I mean, his microphone. He had his microphone.
Right.
But I mean, it still worked. I mean, it just it was weird because I have my 2 racks, which you can't see because it's off camera. Which we're, for those who are listening, we're on Skype and we are technically recording. So just so you know, because I'm not gonna do any sort of harsh start to stop on this thing. I'm still sorting out exactly how I'm doing this. So this is completely, like I said, highly trained professional stuff. We totally know what we're doing, and by we I mean me. But yeah,
absolutely.
So you were doing tech support back there. What was going on there?
My day job is I work computer support for a place that I'm not technically allowed to tell you where I work, but yeah,
some super secret, Area 51 shit. Yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on. Right on.
Hey, we all gotta do what we gotta do. I mean,
for sure.
A lot of the guys in the band, are they want to get to the point where it's hey, this is all I do, but I mean, right now, we've got a firefighter got a guy that works for another place that we can't mention, and then you got myself, and
yeah, it's
it's
tricky. I don't know. I know very few people that do the music thing, or at least and the tribute band thing, that do the music tribute band thing as their primary income. I mean, like a real small amount of people, and I wonder even if those people do actually. I'm not even sure. Like so my brain thinks like Queen Nation or something like that, because I know they gig a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if it's actually like replaced their jobs though, or anything like that. I mean, it's certainly got to be a heck of a supplementary. I can speak the English. Supplementary income for them for sure. But there's not a whole lot of, in their case for sure. I mean, there's not a whole lot of Queen acts to begin with, and then Queen acts that can deliver quite such a stellar performance, as they do, of course, as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's hard, it's supply and demand, and how many of those tribute bands are out there, and how well where are you positioned like performance wise in like comparison to other bands, like in doing the same thing?
Yeah.
And how many people are, how much, like, just in general, how much demand there is for that particular, band's stuff, be it a tribute band or even the original band, for that matter, I mean, I didn't even look, but I mean, are there other Weezer tributes too, or is it
well, we
not around here. I know that.
Yeah, well, there's one. I mean, they're not necessarily a tribute per se, but they do. I mean, they do cover a vast majority of Weezer songs. They are in California, but apart from them, I mean,
Geezer. Yeah. I mean, that's a very special shtick.
Right.
Those guys. Right?
But then other than that, I know there's guys like I know there's some in Oregon and I believe Texas and Chicago, and we're kind of I look at their stuff, they look at our stuff, like, oh man, we should do like, you play the Blue album, we play the Pink album, Pinkerton. It's like, hey,
I think that's actually pretty rad. Exactly. It's good to be like that too, and just be like, not competition. And like, if you do competition, it's all sort of like friendly competition. It's called like, okay, you kick really a lot of ass, way more than we do on this thing, so I really need to step up our game, or whatever the thing is, that sort of friendly, pushing each other's limits stuff. But it's good to see that at least people are talking like that, because you never know. But that'd be actually really, really cool to do like have one big Weezer show, and then have like each band, like 3 bands, and one, like, each just picks an album and just plays an album.
Oh yeah, well, I know that they did something kind of like that at the Office BSRD, something like that. It was that Weezer night? Yeah, and they do that for different genres and different bands and different stuff every now and then. I thought I would have loved to go, but I'm here in Yuma.
Yeah,
and
it's hard sometimes
to get over there.
It's actually probably closer than a lot of the other places, but they just did a Depeche Mode one last night. I was talking to Brent from Strangelove, and they had I saw some video. Actually, a friend of mine did go. I was going to go, but it was like the Office bar is a very relatively small place, and there was like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that had responded. I'm like, I could probably get in, but I didn't.
Would you want to?
I don't always feel like hanging around with lots and lots of people all the time. So last night I'm like, I could just stay home and work on music from here, and it's great. Although I kind of regret it in a way, because it's I've seen like Strangelove many times, and other tribute band like stuff. This is a different thing, because it's more like a jam.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Which let's be honest, I mean, just have a jam party around the band you're tributing would be awesome,
Yeah.
I mean, I was hoping actually you'd gone to that Office bar thing when Weezer did it, or not Weezer.
I know. Yeah.
When it was when Weezer was the theme of the event. That's just a great concept. I think we should like totally do that. I think we should have jam parties, and just like just for like our friends or something like that, or I don't know, even if it. I mean, Office Bar obviously started the thing. I don't want to like steal it from them or anything. And
but they're in San Diego, and I mean, you could do it in LA. You could do it Vegas. I don't know. There's other places. It's like the concept. I don't even know. I think it's more just like I want to be there and just like, hey, I can jump on a song. I can play an egg shaker or whatever. Kazoo. Yeah, it's like, oh, hey, this really super rare B-side. Yeah, okay, let's do it.
I don't, but I can play a mean Cajun.
That's right.
Right. Oh man. So, what else has been up here? Did you have a good holiday? We got Easter just happened Sunday and all that. You got your...
Yeah, it was good stuff. We, I'm also the tech director for my church, so
Yeah.
We put on a nice little Easter service, couple of Easter services, and
So you do like the sound form stuff, or what do you mean? Like,
I overlook the sound, the video, the lighting, and sometimes I play as well, but
yeah.
Mainly, I make sure everybody has a job. The cameras are run, the computer for the slides and everything like that. So
I was kind of surprised by the amount of like tech involved in like churches. Now, mind you, okay, first of all, I'll just put this in with I'm not a religious guy to begin with, which is fine, whatever. I respect everybody's thing. But the interesting point I was going to make is that like I went looking for like how-tos and tutorials on various different, tech setups with mixing and just live sound and production, and very frequently I find one that's like doing it for a church. And I'm I didn't know there was that much in there. I thought you just get into like this big, reverby room and then everybody sings and everybody hears because it bounces off the walls. No. There's like full on like high tech mixers and sometimes lighting and all sorts of stuff going on. And like, I was very, surprised by that, but maybe I'm the only one. It's possible because it's been a long time since I've been in a church, without burning into flames. But probably a known thing for a lot of people. But
I mean, ever since the mega church movement, I'm throwing up the air quotes for those at home. Yeah, right. The mega church movement, it's grown into something that's just like, in my opinion, sometimes overproduced. I mean, everybody's on in-ears and there's like a time-coded light show that goes with, each and every song that they play. Everybody plays to a click, and it's like, how are you gonna quote feel God if you're like, playing all this stuff like, okay, I'm technically proficient. It's so incredibly amazing. The showmanship. It's like, you're in church.
Yeah,
just do what you would do in church.
I think it's the same thing as like, just when we get excited about, him just doing bands and not being church, but just doing a performance, a production. It could be acting or whatever, right? Like, because we can.
We do.
And we tend to, because we get excited and it's like, oh, this is high tech and it's awesome. And, I've got all this, I get this fancy, the time code in my ear. I've got a click. Yeah. I've got a little voice in my head that says you're on in 3 seconds and, whatever,
exactly
going on. And it's like, and it's fun to play with those toys and to make the end result seem so seamless.
Most definitely. That's the hard part, especially like making it seamless, Yeah. I mean, Like we practice, sometimes twice a week because, we are fairly new on the scene, and we're trying to add that little stuff to our show. Like, oh, okay, hey, like I'll make an extra song, like a song list, and I'll give it to the light guy and I'll be like, okay, this was on the blue album, this is on the green album, this is on Pinkerton, this is on the red album. It's like, if you could put the lights up, these different album colors, that'd be pretty cool.
Right.
So we kind of started that, and I mean, we're trying to incorporate a cool just idea, a banner, and
Yeah.
Well, and it works with Weezer because Weezer is very fluent with the colored albums.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, that's kind of perfect, really. Yeah, in that case.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if you actually had like do you do costume changes at all? Or you just for one show, or do you?
Well, we've actually we're going to start practicing this, but we have a gig coming up at Campland, and they want us to play 2 hours, and we're like, okay, so we have an hour and a half solid, so we're adding some new songs. We're gonna take some like we used to do Back to the Shack as an intro, which was on Everything Will Be All Right in the End, but we may end up doing that song as a full song now. But what we were thinking is we have the white jumpsuits,
right,
and so we'll have our 90s garb on under the white jumpsuits, and we'll do like a set of all the popular Weezer songs except for like the Blue album.
Right.
And then we'll unzip and go full bore 90s and just do like the Blue album from front to back, so have it almost be 2 separate sets, but like have some ethereal music or something while we're changing, blah, blah, blah. And then that'll kind of be the whole show.
That'd be pretty cool. Some of them allow you to do like a small break between sets if you do 2 hours anyways, like you do an hour get like 15 minutes to half an hour, and then you do the next hour or something. I don't know how it works down there, but
yeah.
When is that one? Campland show?
It's July 9th. It's a private event.
It's private.
So yeah, but
normally they're not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Campland. That's normally. Well, okay. Well, maybe you can go. Maybe you can't go. Sorry, people.
Well, we have a lot of other stuff. I mean, like we're going to be playing with you in June
with Epic. My Faith and More tribute. Yep. We just booked that.
Yep, and we're going to be playing in Hermosa Beach in May. I believe it's May 21st. I want to say. I know we're trying to do a double. We're trying to do the 20th and 21st somewhere. So, but yeah, we've gotten a lot of requests for WEEZERTON to come to Hermosa Beach. So we're coming.
Right on.
But yeah, as soon as we get the flyers done, I'll throw it up on our Facebook, WEEZERTON AZ on Facebook. So
right on. And have you done those double headers before? To two shows back to back, or is that?
Yeah, that's kind of what we try to do, especially because we don't play as much. You know, we try to limit ourselves to like 1 week in a month because between family and work, you know. Sure. So like when we played with Slaves Against the Machine and Nirvanish, we did one day in Brawley, 1 day in Phoenix, and it was like the 30th of October, and then like Halloween was the other one, which was really cool. So yeah, I mean, we're always shooting to do that kind of stuff, and we're even in talks with the Blink-182 True guys about doing like a southeastern tour, like doing full bore, like 1 week, get as many dates as we can, kind of like they're doing Northeast right now.
I mean, those things are entirely possible. It's just gotta get everybody on the band on board schedule wise and be ready to, have very little sleep for a week.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, for most of us in WEEZERTON, we've never actually we've been in other bands, but we've never toured. We've never actually been in a band that tours and goes out and plays, 3-4 shows and then takes a day off, whatever. Right. So we've all kind of been yearning for that like little piece of rock stardom,
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's something cool. It's something like, my wife, she totally supports me. She knows that music is my passion, and she's really cool about it. So
that's pretty awesome. I don't know. Touring is it's not for everybody.
So I hear.
Yeah, I mean, we're not rich people. We're usually, we're all having our day jobs and stuff. So it's like, you're not getting the big tour bus and doing all, and having like your own space per se. It's kind of like, you got 4 or 5 guys sharing a van, or
sweaty guys and
a whole bunch of gear, either in a U-Haul behind it or in the backseat of the van, depending.
Yeah.
Like all this like really tight and squeezed together. Like, yeah,
this is fun.
I mean, when I did it with Core, we had a blast. I mean, but we all, you have to really like the guys, and you really gotta get along, because you're gonna be doing that, uncomfortable and doing that. And you gotta be able to laugh. You gotta be able to like make crack jokes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we listened to 2 things I remember. We listened to the 2 clips, and I think they're on SoundCloud. Is like, I feel like it's like 75 minutes of Paul Stanley banter, like just tied together. It was like, hey, listen, anybody got a tequila? And all of that, like over and over again. And it would just be like strung from just various shows that it was collected over the years. And it literally went on for 75 minutes. We listened to this, and we just cracked our ass up. Some of it was kind of like repeats of sort of variations on the same thing, because they tend to do this much of the same, bits every night.
Right.
But it's still on there. You got to look it up some point. It's Paul Stanley banter. It's hilarious. And then there's a much shorter one we listened to, which is also hilarious. And these are things that may only be hilarious if you're on the road for like 5, 6, 7, 12 hours or whatever to go to a place, and you're really, really bored. But if you are, or you want to crack up laughing, there's also like 40 minutes or ish of like James Hetfield. Yes. So it's like Jim Brewer type of thing going over. No.
Yeah.
Going on,
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, you got to be able to laugh. Hey,
that. Speaking of Jim Brewer, what do you think? Jim Brewer for AC/DC?
I know, right? I just saw a video today from, I think she posted. I think we posted it yesterday, but I saw it today. Thanks, Facebook. But he was doing James Hetfield doing AC/DC, like a voice of that. I think that'd be kind of hilarious on its own.
Man. That'd be so good.
Now he's playing the Gas Lamp in Long Beach. He's actually gonna be doing a stand-up routine at the Gas Lamp. So if you get a chance to swing by to drive all the way to the Gas Lamp and hang for a bit, that would be a really cool show.
I'd love to.
There's also Andrew Dice Clay is coming up as well to the Gas Lamp, and they're doing the owner, Michael from the Great Pumpkin. They're doing he's having like a birthday bash after, which I can't go to because I have a gig. I don't remember where the hell I'm playing actually. I should know these things so I could say something about it on the air. But hey, I'm playing La Mesa. I'm actually playing closer to you guys.
Oh hey,
well I mean
I got Karen's notification.
Yeah.
I would totally go if I could.
as would I, man. As would I.
Yeah.
I love those guys. I really do. I mean, and it's a cool place, and Michael's a great guy, and it'd be a hell of a party,
Oh yeah.
The trick is always with the scheduling. It seems just for anything.
Yeah.
Have you ever had those moments with? Have you ever have you gone to Weezer live shows or anything in the past?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, I went to Del Mar in 2013. I'll be going again this year when they play with Panic up in Phoenix in August. But really, I mean, I before that, I mean, it took me until I was like 28, 29 to see them live, which was crazy, But I mean, I've been a huge fan of Weezer since I was like 10.
Wow. Have you ever met any of them? I mean, just one of the questions that probably gets asked to everybody, I think, but it's a legit question.
Yeah, not yet. I hope to someday. I have a possible friend of a friend of a friend, so we'll see how that happens.
Or those little expensive VIP things, so you can go in there and just be like, "Hey, so I got this band, and we really like you guys, so we try to play your stuff." And I did that once, and it was kind of like I felt it was a little awkward because I kind of went a little fanboyish,
Yeah. Well, if you're really really into it, I mean, like I went and I saw the Ataris and Hawthorne Heights in San Diego, like the day after we played the Gas Lamp not Gas Lamp, the House of Blues.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like a meet and greet, prior to the show. And I was like, okay, Ataris have been around for a while. Hawthorne Heights, they've been around, and it's like, okay, there's actually people that are down to pay for a meet and greet for these people. It's like, everybody can fanboy or fangirl. What makes you really passionate,
Yeah, I get weirded out. Like I try very, very hard not to get too crazy fanboy most of the time, and I'm usually pretty good at kind of like stuffing that down and just because they're just people, right? I mean we play, I mean we play, and sometimes people come up and like ask us for autographs and weird stuff. I'm like, don't you know that I'm not really the guy, right? Or you're not really Rivers Cuomo or whatever, I mean. but when you get to meet the real bands, it's like it's kind of if you get the opportunity, whether it's you're the band you're tributing or just somebody. I mean, you made somebody famous or whatever.
Oh yeah. I remember one time Foo Fighters came, and it was for like a Democratic presidential rally or something at ASU when I was going to ASU. And like, I just remember like I was walking up and Dave Grohl was just right there and nobody was around him. And I went like full on retard fanboy, like, and it was just
what happens? Like click.
Oh my God. You're like my musical idol. You were the one that sparked my entire interest in guitars, and you just like, you start crying. And
I know.
So bad. It was bad. It was really
bad. And you have to, after you're done, after you go through all that, and then you go start thinking about it after, like, I'm so embarrassed. Like, if I were that guy, this guy is here going, oh. Like, okay, it's very, 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 very cool, very, very awesome, and I'm trying to try to escape now.
Exactly.
You really got to be smooth. You got to be good with the saying hello, and then your dismount from that whole thing. Like, how you got to go in? How do you go in, and how do you get out? Without very smoothly, right?
Exactly.
It can be a little sketchy. I don't know.
Who have you met? Who have you met that you just completely went just full?
Well, Metallica was one. I met Metallica a few years ago, and a few years ago. It was really probably like a decade ago. But it was actually when Saint Anger came out, which of course everybody hates the album or whatever.
That's the best snare drum sound ever.
No, it's not. Actually, I can actually legitimately claim that I gave Lars shit for that sound in person to his face.
Oh no!
I was, joking about it. He was the most friendly guy in the band, and he was the most outgoing guy and most, warm and receiving guy. He was just trying to make everybody comfortable. He was cracking jokes. He was a very cool, very, very cool dude. He would be a dude I would hang out with without question. And everybody else was just, kind of like, they were more on the quiet side and sort of like letting everybody else do this talking, which of course makes me really kind of uncomfortable, in this thing. I'm like, and of course I'm later down the line. This is a full on like meet and greet thing. I got it from the Met Club. It was like a random contest I happened to win for some reason. Nice. So it wasn't anything too fancy, just random chance. But people are going in line and they go down, they're going down like, you saved my life and listen to your music and all of the crazy extreme stuff and then it's like I'm like oh my god, okay, and now I'm like, okay, well, he's getting close to me. Okay, he's getting close to me. I'm like, what am I gonna say? I don't know. What do you say to that? I mean, how do you I just want to say like I love your music. I respect you as an artist and I think you're fantastic. I love studying your work. I'd love to be a fly in the wall watching you guys work someday, just to kind of get an idea of how things work and what your dynamic is and whatever things intelligent things I would love to say, and what ends up actually coming out was hi, or like stupid shit. I think I said something stupid like when Kirk Hammett walked up. I'm like, I think I said like the Axeman cometh. I'm like, why would I say that ever in any fucking context outside of this? Even in this context, why would I fucking say that? Why did those words come out of my mouth? So embarrassing. And he, of course, he repeats it back to me. He heard it back. And he's like, yeah, the Axeman cometh. All right. Something like, all right, horror guy and like, funny thing. It was, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. It was embarrassing, but whatever. He was cool about it. And, I just remember shooting a shit. I mean, it was actually after, it was when, Trujillo just joined the band too, so okay. So Trujillo had been there like less than a month. Wow. So got to meet him. I had a signed poster. I actually gave it to Chris Knight from Damage Inc.
Oh yeah, dude, I would love to see those guys. I mean, I've seen a lot of videos from Damage Inc. Damage Inc. By the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And they do bring it. Those guys, and they're good. The best part of it all is good people. At least for me in my world.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if everybody agrees, but I'd like to think they do. At least in the sense of, everybody likes good people. Nobody likes a jerk. Like, he performs really well, but he's an asshole off stage. So you kind of like, nobody's going to connect with that. But when somebody's happy and warm, and I mean, they get actually, thinking about like their interactions was actually part of why this podcast exists, because I've been to a lot of their shows. I'm friends with them, and I've kind of like watched, and they do bigger shows just because they've been at this for 11 years or going on 11 years anyway. So long time. It's probably even longer than that for all I know. I remember when the 10th year was, but I don't remember when it was, and time is flying. But I digress. So they'll do a show for like 1,500, 2,000 people, and they're out there before and after talking to everybody because they're cool people and they love everybody. These people, they understand and appreciate the fact that people, come to their shows at all, as we really all do, I think. But it's even after doing this that long and gaining that much of a following that a lot of people show up. It's good that they are still able, willing to go out there and just shake hands with everybody, take pictures, smile, say how you doing, give hugs, all that stuff. But there's so many people that it's like you only get like 5-ish like minutes, maybe a minute, maybe a minute or two, and then the next person goes. But it's like, I'd really love to stay and talk, but they're pulling me too, and you can't really dedicate a lot of time to any one individual person, but I mean, even though they're totally accessible, and of course on Facebook and all that stuff, everybody can interact all the time. But the whole point is that they don't have a lot of time to individual at a show to really like get to know anybody or have anybody sort of really get to know them unless they happen to be a regular around the circle or whatever. So basically, that's why this thing came together. Because I wanted to like try to provide an opportunity where we just shoot the shit about whatever and people can listen and kind of hang out for an hour with us and, and just get some sense of who we are a little bit, even though I talk too damn much. But this is only episode 2. I believe it's going to be episode 2. I'm going to get this put up. So it's, I'm learning, and I'm going to try to learn to shut up a little bit more. But
you should have like a certain thing that you do with each person. Like a lot of the podcasts I listen to, they have like a top 10 list or something, like questions that you ask specifically, I don't know, like where were you born? What's your favorite album? What do you prefer? Stuff like that.
I do have a list, but it's not like I don't know if I want to necessarily run down a list, but if I run out of things to talk about or whatever, we just, conversation isn't going anywhere, or some weird thing that may happen somewhere. I'm preparing for the worst, if you will. And
there you go.
Not with you. You've got this. You're great at this. Dom, you are the best podcast guy. You're not a problem. But I'm thinking ahead of me being me, and I'm not. Oh yeah, there's going
to be those people that are going to be kind of like, oh yeah, man, hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up? And I'm gonna be like,
I'm in a band.
Okay. Yeah. So,
just like hours of silence.
Exactly.
Best podcast ever.
Right. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a podcast up. It's going to be 40 minutes of silence.
And then you got to have like your intro and everything that's just like, TributeTribe. This is a tribute to silence.
To silence. That would be the funniest tribute band ever. It's like you got a 30-minute set. It's basically just silence. Or it's like a Gregorian chant like thing. It's like, oh.
And you just have this like incredible light show and stuff behind you just going on, and it's just like nothing is happening sound wise. It's just like
this is a tribute to nothing.
or air guitar. Tribute to the air band.
The air bands. Tribute to air bands everywhere. That would be fucking hilarious. Talk about a little like a shtick thing, like you can open up for anybody.
Oh yeah,
you just like play track and you just like play air guitar to it. You just have some funky outfits and wigs and light show.
Oh yeah,
and you just throw on little like not pyro but like fog like bursts and stuff. Oh my god, that'd be insane.
Hey, we got a couple months. We could do this. We could totally do this.
That would be very hilarious. Oh my gosh. Now somebody's gonna listen to this and gonna totally steal the act. Don't steal the act, people. It's ours.
Patent pending.
We own this. We own this. I don't care if they stole it. It'd be still hilarious. All right, so yeah, I do have lists of stuff that I wanted to like sort of talk about, not just with you, but I have like in general. If you want an example,
ask away, my friend.
Let's like in your case, let's like what is like your background with music? I mean, where did you start before any of the tribute stuff happened? I mean, you started playing an instrument, or did you sing, or what did you do?
Well, early on, I mean, my dad, I mean, even before I was born, ran like a music school and stuff, but he was kind of a lot older by the time I was into music. And when I was 15, he bought me my first guitar. It was a Mexican made Squier Strat and a little 10-inch amp. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. And my cousin, he could play every Nirvana song there was. It was, power chords. And I was like, oh, okay. So, I mean, I never really had like a formal music training, but I was always pretty good at like picking stuff up by ear. So, I mean, obviously, when I could actually start driving, I would go more to like the used record stores and like pick up, albums of stuff that I hear on the radio. And it's like, oh man, this is really good, and just try to figure it out by myself. And, as I grew older, I was in a couple of, I'll say original bands, but I was always a fan of doing covers, like stuff that other people already knew, so it was going to be really well received, so everybody could enjoy. So I was in a band called Far From Grace, and we played. This was back in Ohio, and we played probably for like a year and a half or two, and we had a little 5-song EP that we came out with, and then we had like an hour and a half worth of covers. We did Green Day and Nirvana, just everything that was popular around that time. And then I moved out to Phoenix. I went to school at ASU I partied at ASU for about a year and a half. And then I found out that they had a recording school called the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences. And so I went there, and I really honed my skills at recording and mainly live sound.
So you actually took like classes for live sound?
Yeah. So I studied under a guy that did live sound for like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, and like he was like the touring front of house guy, for years. And that was really my passion, like, doing live sound and live sound reinforcement is just, making the band sound as good as they think they sound to everybody else.
Right.
That's kind of my thing.
But it sounds so much better in my head. You guys don't understand.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing, trying to make it sound good to them so that they can make it sound good for the audience.
Right.
So, I after school, I met my wife who was from Yuma. And we ended up moving back down here, and that's kind of like when I met a lot of the other guys, because being in the live sound game, it's like you get to know all the bands, you get to know everybody, and they're like, oh, hey, you can run a soundboard, right? Yeah, you're good. You make everything sound good. So, so they knew me and I knew them, and then I ended up running sound for Josh, who's our drummer. He was in a reggae band, believe it or not.
Yeah, man.
For those of you who don't know, Josh and Brandon, who's our bassist, both the two of the whitest guys I know. And they're playing, they're playing like, Southern California, South Cali dub, like style reggae, iration, and,
right on.
One drop and that kind of stuff. And so I was doing sound for them, and they did a cover of Say It Ain't So. And I was like, what? And they made it reggae style. So they did the upchucks with the, with the verses and everything. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I went up to him, and I was talking with him, and we have he was originally from San Diego, so we had a mutual friend, and so we became really good friends through that. And one day, I ended up playing in the reggae band with him at one point, and then one day we were kind of, I don't know, he was like, well, I'm really a drummer, but he was playing guitar, so he's like, well, I kind of want to get back to my drumming roots, and I was like, well, I love Weezer, just like getting right to it. And he's like, dude, we should do a Weezer cover band. And, back then it was just a local thing. We'd play a couple hour shows with friends and whatever. And, so the original lineup was like these two other guys that were in a cover band that knew all the Weezer stuff. And then us, I was a lead guitarist and he was a drummer. And we played a couple of shows, and they were mildly successful, and we were just like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then we kind of had a falling out with the other guys, and I was like, I'm done with Weezer, and then like, I don't even know, 6 months later, maybe we saw there was a show that was going on at the House of Blues, and it was 40 Ounces of Freedom, Nirvanish, Green Today, and Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I think Blink 182 True. And so we were like, oh man, that's awesome. It's like
show. I didn't know you were there, but I was at that show.
Actually, believe it or not, Tommy from Nirvanish, he pointed me out. He was like, hey, you guys are from Arizona. So that whole thing, that was us. Like we brought like 4 or 5 guys, and and we were like, man, this is what we want to do. We want to play, we want to play to more than just our local hometown. So,
right.
I mean, we went out and, I did all this social media research, and like looked at where Core was playing, looked at where Nirvanish and all the other, tributes, where they were playing. And I was like, I gave Josh a list, and he set out and said, okay, let's do this thing. So we put together this really horrible promo that we're going to update sometime, and, sent it out to all these places, all these booking agents. And we started actually getting some offers. So we were like, wow, we could probably do this. And it's taken off, from that. And we've been so blessed to just say that, we're in the tribute scene, coming from Yuma, Arizona. And now we're, I'm hoping that we're starting to like gel with everybody, and really, we want to play with all the other 90s tributes and even 80s tributes. I mean, you could do an 80s versus 90s show too. I mean, it would span the whole realm of things.
It was a bit of a hump too. I mean, it takes a little while for us to like us as in like other people, other bands or whatever, because we have people we know, and we like the people we know. It's not like trying to make it like a walled garden. It's like we don't invite anybody in, but because of every one of us has some level of experience, different experiences with different types of people and different bands or whatever. Sometimes people talk a great game and they're really kind of like either one like bullshit artists, or they're just or they're just not delivering the goods or whatever, or or they're just like yeah, you should totally put us on that act, it would be really awesome, but they don't draw anybody, and it's like things like that. So it took, took a while to kind of figure that out.
Yeah, and I remember there was a time where we would just get so frustrated. We were like, man, there's no other Weezer tribute. Why aren't we getting booked? And I would be spamming you with all these like,
I know, like, this is tough nuts to crack. What are you doing? I know, yes, and everything was like Weezon, which is still, which I've come to like. For a while, I'm like, okay, I don't know, and then I'm like, eventually I finally cracked on it. I'm like, especially after seeing you guys too, I'm like, finally actually getting to meet you guys in person and watching your performance. I'm like, holy shit! Why am I sitting here guessing or wondering or. Fucking, they got it. Just go, So like, it makes sense. I just like it's because I think it's like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I've already been doing this too long, but I don't want to say jaded, but it's sort of like you're not sure, until you know somebody's good. It's like you kind of be a little bit guarded, which is weird even for me because I'm usually I like accept everybody. So I'm going to be thinking about that after this podcast for the next several days. I'm going to go talk to a therapist now. Be like, why am I thinking about this? Oh my god, people.
Well, no, I mean it's true because you gotta. I mean, especially coming from a not necessarily like musical city like Phoenix is. It's like, okay, so you guys are in a Green Day tribute, huh? Okay, let's, and it's like, it's now being in it for a while. It's like, okay, now I understand why you were asking for live video. Now I understand why you're asking for live recordings. It's like, how do they sound? How do they look? How do they act on stage? Like, do you know,
right.
Are they tribute? Exactly. Yeah. Are they, well, like you were saying with Christopher, it's like, I try to be the social guy, mm-hmm. I'm the one that's always on, Facebook, putting out stuff like, hey, this day in Weezer history, blah, blah, blah. And like, oh, hey, happy birthday to, so-and-so. It's like, but then also in the crowd, like, I'm always that guy that's just like, I'm in the crowd. I'm there.
You're the guy
dancing,
jumping off stage
around.
during Blink 180 True. I saw that. I saw you were running on stage. You literally jumped out of the crowd. I don't even know what. I've not seen anybody do that in the 5 years I've been doing that, and you did it. You were the guy.
Well, you just, it's one of those things. It's like, okay, it's a show.
Amazing.
No matter how you put it, it's a show. It's, if that would happen at a real Blink show, I mean, back in the day, it probably did. I mean, that's just. And being in a tribute band, it's like we are more accessible. We are the the olden days, the good old days of when nobody was famous, and it's just like we're playing the music because we love it, and we're playing the music because the crowd love it. So I love having fun. I love just. Trust me, I'd get up there and just belt out every single song with every single band that I go see. But that's
definitely a thing I like about you is that you'll let go and rock out and just get into the song or the opening band, somebody else's band. It's like you just
oh yeah,
you get into it too. It's like I appreciate the appreciation of that era's music in general, because you're right, we all like it, we all love it, it's like, it's funny thing too, is like I didn't realize, and this is, I'm not gonna be the only one who's gonna come to this realization, I think, as people go to your shows, but I didn't realize how many Weezer songs I knew. Like I didn't happen to be one of the guys that actually bought a Weezer album. I think I might have bought the Blue album, but I didn't have any of the other albums for whatever reason. It's nothing to do with the band, just life and decisions and how much money you have in your pocket at the time, before we had this iTunes and crazy all this stuff.
But I mean, before, when we were actually listening to radio, it's like, okay, you knew some of the songs because like Beverly Hills was played at least once an hour,
But I even got a Sweater song and Undone and of course Buddy Holly. But I remember Buddy Holly being on the Windows 95 disc.
Yeah,
that's what I remember. The video. I mean,
yeah, you sent that to me. That was awesome.
That dates me a little bit, but it was a thing. It was kind of funny back in that day. existed.
Well, and I remember, I mean, I honestly, I'm super young compared to a lot of people that are in this game right now. And like, I remember I had my boombox and I would just, sit there and I'd wait for a good song and I'd, record play. Okay, we're good. And then I'd have my mix and I'd be, doing my thing. And a lot of the times it was like, any Weezer song, any Offspring song, any Nirvana song,
Offspring. Why is there not an Offspring tribute? Jeez.
It's the vocal range, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Trust me, I've tried looking, and I mean, if we could play it like a full step down, I might be able to do it. But Offspring, dude.
Yeah,
Offspring.
Staying in that.
And they have a ton of music, that you could do.
There's so many.
Yes, I know. We think all the time, like Josh and I were like, man, okay. We grew up with like MXPX, yeah, we could totally do an MXPX tribute band.
Well, how much, draw would MXPX get if they were here right now? I mean, we don't know. Yeah. I mean, I've seen some of them come back around and be like, all right, they used to play like Lollapalooza and big festival stuff, and sometimes maybe they still do, but then they come out and they can't pack like the Gas Lamp or House of Blues or something. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Very strange. I don't know why. It's kind of unfortunate. I feel like bad because like the music's awesome, but yet sometimes. The modern promotional paradigm, as with the internet and the Facebooks and the Twitters and all the Instagrams and all that stuff. I think it's tricky to kind of hold on to it, and sometimes I don't know what the magic thing is with it. Maybe newer, younger folk are thinking like maybe they're like old has-beens, like, oh, that's old music or old people's music. I mean, I think I actually heard that. And this is really, really sad to me that like Nirvana and stuff like is considered like classic rock now.
No,
like, we have graduated to classic rock. We used to just be like alternative rock or a genre of modern rock, but
grunge.
But now in grunge and now it's like you're classic rock now.
No.
Like, yeah,
I will never accept that.
I know, I won't either. I don't care how many gray hairs are on my head. I'm not accepting it. Damn it!
Yeah.
Ooh, as I smack my microphone. Yeah. Sorry. Highly trained professionals. Anyway, yes. Gosh, classic rock. I mean, come on. I mean, actual classic rock bands, they're still kind of there.
Led
Zeppelins and the Kiss and the
yeah.
Come on, it's not.
Well, and here's the other thing. Like my dad and I mean, when we lived in Phoenix the first time in the 90s, there was an oldies, quote unquote, oldies station. And it was, right. I mean, it was 50s and 60s.
Where does that shift
and that's
to though? Where does that?
Well, and then now that same station, same name, same everything plays like Journey and, Zeppelin and the what we would consider classic rock. And it's like, that's you're not oldies. That's not oldies. What are you talking about?
What are you saying, radio? What are you saying?
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, and then our parents are like, oh yeah, that's just rock and roll, man. That's just it's not classic. It's just rock and roll.
My question then is, what does the oldies become? Is there like an archaic rock station or like Jurassic rock?
Classical, classical.
Oh my God,
it's like
no.
one step up from like strings and like.
Oh my God.
Mozart is now Buddy Holly.
I used to listen to jazz and swing, but now I listen to Led Zeppelin. I mean, what? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, what is the world coming to?
I don't know.
And then I'm just gonna be like thinking like an old person now. I'm like, 10 years from now we're gonna have another shift, and then like we gotta find like this is getting to so broad so quickly. I sometimes get on Periscope and I just I get weird on Periscope and I throw up like, hey, let's just talk 90s and 90s #90s kids or whatever. And so I was on Periscope one night and this person, whoever they were, they were like, oh yeah, I'm a 90s kid. Da, 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 da. What about this and that? And they were all about it. They were like, oh yeah, I love Weezer, blah, blah, blah. I was like, so like, when were you born? They're like, oh, I just barely made the mark, 1999. I was like, oh, well,
you did not live in the 90s. You are reliving the 90s now because history repeats itself every 20 years, but not You were not
You're,
born.
you're like the hipster of like 90s. Like at this point, it's like your 90s was your lullabies when you were in your crib. But you know what? I'm not going to hold it against them. I mean, I feel bad. I feel old, and I feel like I'm glad they came around. They found it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, kind of like, even now, even me, I'm not, I'm, up there, but I didn't catch a lot of Weezer stuff. I learned it because I saw some of some of the songs you guys played that I didn't hear before.
Right.
So a bunch that I recognized that I didn't realize I would, but then there was also songs that I hadn't heard before, and which is really fantastic because
I'm
to
the
music.
same way.
Well, old music like it was new. Yeah.
I'm the same way with Epic. Like I mean, obviously I knew Epic, I knew, Faith No More. It's like, I knew that song. And now it's like, oh, they actually had some good stuff, It's like, oh, okay.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, oh yeah. And STP and Live and, Pearl Jam. There's just so many, so many good things came out of that.
I could name a number of different bands where I've from the tribute bands that I got introduced to music that I had not heard before. That even though I'm familiar with the bands that they're tributing and I'm aware of a hit or two, or in some cases, sometimes more, you still can find things that you didn't like. Unless you were actually a dedicated fan and you bought the albums and you listened to them from back to front. Well, front to back,
right?
From middle to front to back to the sides, and you look at it from underneath.
B-side and first. You were way underground. You went B-side
exactly.
first.
I mean, going through the singles and just all the remixes, and then you coming back around to the album. All the in-depth stuff, the bootlegs. I mean, really, dedicated fan. Then you'd be familiar a lot, more with that stuff. But just being a normal person and having all this music, which has actually blown up to be a giant behemoth of a problem because of all the music we have now. It's hard for us to catch everything. So to have this type of thing sort of focus it for us and be like, okay, we're going to go to a show. It's a multi-tribute band show. There are 3 different tributes and a rough mix of genre, maybe multiple genres. I mean, we played with an Iron Maiden tribute and we're Faith No More. I mean, they kind of fit, but they kind of don't. It's interesting. But you get introduced to music you didn't heard. WEEZERTON played with Blink 182. Did Weezer ever play with Blink 182 before?
Yes, in fact, they played in San Diego, and I remember when I was putting out all those things, I would actually do so much research on what bands played with Weezer. So No Doubt has played with Weezer. I mean, shared the stage, not necessarily right. Same tour, but and I mean, Weezer, plays some of the bigger, I don't know, I think they played Reading Festival and, some of the bigger festivals, I don't know if they played one of the newer Woodstocks, but I try to do that. I'd love to recreate those shows that either you couldn't be there for because you were either too young or you were too, you were working that day or whatnot. It was too expensive. But I think it'd be awesome to do just a full blown tribute festival and either do one entire day or do 2 evenings or something of just, this was how it was at, Reading 94. This was how it was, at Woodstock, 95, was it
94?
94?
Yep.
Yeah. The 94, man. 94 was the year.
That was a monstrous show.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think it would just be so awesome to just recreate that kind of stuff, for people that want to recreate their past or people that just weren't able to be there,
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's why I love what you're doing with Lollapalooza, man. That's that stuff. I mean, even if the bands didn't necessarily play together, it's the theme of it, the feel of it. It's oh man, we're at this awesome festival, we're hanging out and all these bands are here. It's so cool.
Yeah. It was pretty good concept. I cannot claim to have come up with it certainly by myself in any way, shape or form.
I say you guys.
It's definitely you guys. Cause it was Karen and Tommy actually from Nirvana.
Tommy. Yep.
It was us hanging out at the back of the gas lamp, and I think we were talking. The joke started with making everything about Ish because they're from Nirvana,
right? Right.
So I mean, we had Lollapalooza-ish and the Pumpkins-ish. I think the original concept was like we were just gonna do an event, and regardless of the names of our bands or any of the bands on the bill, we were just going to rename it to something ish that was related to it. So it was like Nirvana-ish. We could have Green Day-ish or Greenish Day, or like Weezish. Yeah, exactly. Smashing Pumpkin-ish or Smashing-ish Pumpkins. I don't know, whatever things like that. Whatever we could come up with for Alice in Chains-ish. I don't know, whatever. Something that just immediately is recognizable, but is funny because we just make everything ish.
It's ish, yeah.
I don't know why we didn't actually pursue it quite that way. I think we still should sometime, but it's just we're just trying to do what we can do with it. I mean, we're just a couple bunch of people with limited time. We just try to promote it under a name to make it easier to recognize, and people at least immediately know what it is. Anyways, and so far we haven't been sued by Lollapalooza, so that's good. Waiting for that day.
We know it's
coming.
Well, I mean, if we, and that's the other interesting thing about the business we're in, so to speak. It's like, okay, we literally play or try to play exactly the same song as such and such band. It's like, I mean, I don't know if you saw the big thing with didn't Metallica try to sue another lawyer tribute over something.
Metallica made good after that, thankfully. Metallica's actually really cool with tribute bands, but they had an overzealous lawyer that sent out that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like stuff like that. It's like, how the heck have we not just gotten the pants sued off of us for making an undisclosed amount of money out off of playing these songs? I've
only heard of one band that ever got like a cease desist from the original band. It was Total Distortion, which used to be called Socially Distorted back in the day, and they got a cease and desist from Social Distortion because the name was too close. Like I guess they they didn't know at the time. They got that, and they were, okay, kind of sucks. You got to stop using the Skelly logo, all this stuff. But I should save this story for another cast. But short version is, they.
You mean Sean's cast?
Yeah, another cast. But I mean, that it eventually made good. They had to change their name to something else, and they came up with Total Distortion, which could not, it's kind of familiar, but it's not really. There's no line really to be drawn to Social Distortion, because I think legitimately somebody had actually gone to a socially distorted show thinking it was Social Distortion, and it wasn't, and then they were mad and whatever, and that one little thing triggered some madness. So most of us we're pretty careful now. I think mine's not just because of that, but just in general, sort of kind of like. We're not putting ourselves out there as if we're the band. We're putting ourselves out there as fans of the band that are kind of lightheartedly taking on the persona, knowing, so you can suspend your disbelief, but you can also kind of go like, haha, and we can laugh at ourselves and you can laugh at us. And it's fine. It's cool. Or,
and hopefully it keeps the interest if the band is still out there, like Weezer and I don't know, is Faith No More still out there? Kind of.
They just had an album last
year.
I
mean, it hopefully it like keeps the interest. It's like, oh man, maybe I'll have to check out the real music on, iTunes or, and that's really what the hope is. I mean, to put on a really good show for fans of music in general, and then hopefully for them to get into the music that we love and that we're, passionate about.
For sure. Yeah. So what else do you think you want to do? Like if you weren't doing a Weezer trivia, what would you want to sink your teeth into?
Well, we touched on it. I think Offspring would be awesome.
Oh, Offspring really that's the one? I was a lucky guess.
I mean, it would take so much and I mean, looking back at a lot of the, the more recent stuff, I mean, they don't really play the songs in the same key anymore. Well, So it's doable. But yeah, I mean, Offspring is one of those things. Like one of my buddies that was in another band of ours, we covered All I Want.
Yeah.
And that's one of those songs where it's just like, you can start feeling like the
vocal cords just like,
save
me. Why are you doing this to me? Yeah. Yeah, and they sound like that too. It's like, vocals.
Exactly. But I don't know. Like I've loved the Offspring, Collective Soul.
Oh shit!
Just to be weird. I'd love to do like a bunch of Collective Soul.
They only had a few different hits. So they had like 2 or 3 hits. They had Heavy. They had obviously Shine.
December, my December,
right?
Yep, December.
God, I used to play that. Is that it?
Yeah.
Though? Is that like those are the 3 main hits I think for major airplay.
And again, you just touched on something. It's like to do a true tribute. I mean, you got to find out. Okay, have they had enough radio, quote unquote, radio hits or enough recognizable hits to do like an hour and a half show? You know,
right? Yes.
It's really tough to say, oh yeah, man, I'd love to do a Guar tribute or it's like a lot of people are hardcore fans of Guar, but it's like, it's not one of those things where you can just go in, to some place. Yeah, I'm a Guar tribute.
That's a special niche market.
Yeah, it's super, super special. But yeah, I mean, and that's when you're thinking about stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay, who had a lot of really good songs? I mean, Offspring, I would say obviously, because I mean, they're still rocking it,
Yeah, and that could fit all the way back from the bands that from the 90s.
Oh yeah. Punk rock, fun. They have some fun songs, fun, silly songs, but I mean, it's all in that, that 90s punk rock alternative,
Where's the Bare Naked Ladies tribute? That'd be kind of funny too. Remember that thing was so fun.
There's these guys on Periscope. They're I'm gonna give them a shout out on the podcast at the Dad Band. They are 4 Canadian guys.
All right.
That literally a dude plays a cajon. He's got the cajon and then 2 acoustics and a bass. And they will play the snot out of some Bare Naked Lady stuff.
No shit. I'm gonna look that up as soon as I get done.
So yeah, and they play every Thursday at 7:30 Eastern time. But no, they're really cool guys, and they Bare Naked Ladies. I saw them in Columbus, I think. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That was a long time ago. In a galaxy far, far away. Anyway, what about you? What would you do? What else would you do? I mean, you do a lot.
I have a lot of things that I want to do that I don't seem to, have time for. But I wanted to do a Soundgarden tribute, but I kind of wanted to sing more than anything. But I would have to sing and play a little bit too, and that's I can do it, but it's a little tricky. Actually, you know what? I might actually. This is part of me that actually wants to go back and like redo like another STP tribute and actually just sing and not play guitar for once. But I didn't think about that till it's a bit too late. There's a whole bunch of them out there, so I may come back to it somewhere down the road. But I didn't realize it was a thing I even wanted to do until I, went and did the last Lollapalooza on Lollapalooza 3. We did a short dedication to Scott Weiland after his passing. And we had it was only like 5, 6 songs. And I had my son came on stage.
Your son,
my son came on stage. First time we ever played on stage together. He's on guitar playing plush. Yeah, and I'm just singing the whole time. So I have guest people come on, but it was a fun thing. It was a great moment. Although I have to say, like the very first song when I came out doing that, I remember Sean was on bass, my bass player from Core and from Total Distortion and Blink 182. He I don't know. I was trying to get into it, and do the whole like Weiland dance moves and just kind of glide across the stage and just do the thing. And I glided right into the back of his bass guitar my side of my head. So that happened, and I felt it, and he's looking at me like, oh no, like, and I'm like,
now you'll be all disoriented, like you.
Yeah,
like Scott was.
So it just made me a better Weiland in the end. It didn't knock me unconscious. It made me just out of it enough that I fit perfectly in with the shtick.
Perfect.
Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I might do some of that. I really don't know. I'm just what time I really have. I mean, I'm spending some time doing original music now and trying to do this podcast, which has been a bit of a scheduling nightmare. But as we know, we've been trying to do this for a few weeks at least. But things happen, and we just try to find an hour to be able to do this. We end up doing this over Skype, so if it sounds a little funny versus the last episode, it's just because of the Skype quality. But actually, it sounds pretty good to me from here. So this might be a thing that I might be able to do in the future to make this a little easier on guests who come in, and so they don't have to drive all the way out to Temecula. Temecula. It's like Dracula.
Which is funny because now we're going to be playing the Boiler Room in like a couple months.
The Boiler Room in Temecula.
In Temecula.
Now people do have to come out to that. They can't like go on Skype for that. They have to actually be in person to come to the show and buy tickets and hang out. And that is going to be, when is the date? We just booked it. June
24th.
It's June 24th. June 24th. WEEZERTON and Epic Tribute to Faith No More at the Boiler Room in Temecula, California. First time we ever get to play together. It's going to be cool. It's going to be on a great stage. I was talking to you a little bit offline about doing a little video, some sort of production-like thing that might be cool. We'll see. Maybe we can step it up and make it an extra special show for those people to show up. And, since it is, my podcast, I wanted to do a little minor plug for it because, it's it's a cool thing. Plus, it fits with what you're doing because you're playing as well. It's going to be great. One, I'm kind of excited because I get to see you guys again because after seeing you at Romano's, that was quite a trip. Did I send you all the videos from that? I gotta make sure I send those to you.
I don't think so, but yeah, that will help in our upcoming promo that we're redoing right now.
I did post some. I posted at least one on Facebook, but yeah, okay, I'll make sure I send those to you and whatnot. But those fans of Weezer, check out WEEZERTON. You want to plug your website and your Facebook and all of that stuff?
Sure. We are WEEZERTON. We have a website. It's www.weezerton.com. You can book us there. You can see pictures. You can see when our upcoming shows are. You can see all that kind of good stuff. We also have a Facebook, which is facebook.com/WeezertonAZ. We're also on Instagram at WeezertonAZ. And you can catch us periscoping every now and then. We are at Weez_Erton on Periscope. And yeah, I'm really thankful for you doing this podcast, man. I just wanted to say, I've been looking forward to not only doing it but listening to it for a while now.
Well, I'm glad to have you on, and thank you for dialing in. I mean, it's cool at least be able to do this. I mean, to be able to have you come on the cast all the way from Yuma, Arizona, is quite a trip. But we have the internet, so we can do all these cool things. It's random. Before we, as we wrap this up, I thought about this, and I don't know how possible it is, but it's something I've always wondered about. It's like, what if, how? I don't know if we could even possibly pull this off, but like, I haven't seen anybody pull off like a live show on the internet. Like, could you do that such in a fashion, just like a free short show where you literally just like do a show for the internet and like, I mean, it was hard to get the sound quality or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't they have like, not Patreon, but I think there is an actual like streaming service. Cause like the guy that used to do those 1 minute mashups, I followed him, and he actually does like short, I mean, like 1 hour shows, but I mean, you donate coins or, you have, and then you can get into the show. And I mean, really, it's just him in front of a webcam, rocking out. But I mean, if we can podcast across the net, I mean, I'm sure that we could, do something where we have a live feed. I mean, tech stuff. Hello.
I know, we're nerds. We're nerds. Why can we not figure this problem out? We should figure this problem out, because that would be kind of.
Yeah,
I hesitate to use the description epic, but that was not intentional.
That was so funny.
I know. Gosh, hold on. Anyway, that would be a cool thing if we could figure it out. But anyways, that's something we can talk about offline to figure it out. If we do it, I'm certain we'll talk about it on a future cast and promote the shit out of it if it were to happen. Although, obviously, even if it was to happen, the coolest thing to do is, of course, to go to your local tribute band shows, whether they're in Yuma, Arizona, or San Diego, California, or wherever you are.
Riverside. Yeah, we're being being from Yuma. It's one of those things where we're blessed and we're cursed. We're 2.5 hours from San Diego, so we absolutely never care about playing San Diego because it's just perfect. We never mind, I should say,
right.
Playing San Diego because it's just, it's so quick to get over there. We have so many friends over there already. Temecula is only like 3 hours away. Riverside's like 4. Even like Vegas is 5 hours. It's still not that bad. and Phoenix is 3 hours. So I mean, we're trying to bridge the the Southern California tribute scene and trying to bring them over to Arizona, because there is starting to become an Arizona tribute scene as well. I mean, we have a food tribute, a Green Day tribute, Alice in Chains tribute over in Phoenix, and I mean, obviously some of the classic rock as well.
Yeah.
But I would love to see like a tribute exchange, where it's like,
Totally.
a Southern California band comes over and plays with a couple of openers from local, so it's so you're pulling the local crowd for the local people that are there, and you're getting a really awesome show from a Southern California band. Like that's
people get excited about that for some reason. Like, oh, you're from Southern California? You must be good.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Which I'm like, I don't know where you got that from. I'm just saying, I brought a kazoo. So,
we're good.
We're good.
Claps.
Yeah. And now for another number. Yes. Gosh, it's great to have you on, man. Thank you for coming on. And
hey. Thank you, Nick.
I look forward to playing with you here in June, and hopefully maybe I'll see you a little bit before then. And make sure you go out there and check out WEEZERTON. They're amazing. They're awesome. Dominic, you have been fantastic, and I will talk to you here really soon. Everybody else out there, make sure you get out there, support your local tribute bands wherever you may be. Support your local music, little tribute bands, non-tribute bands. There doesn't have to be any us versus them stuff. We're all trying to do stuff and play things that we enjoy, and we hope that you would enjoy. And we just want everybody to have a good time and stay positive. And we'll see you out there here soon. So be excellent to one another, everybody, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Tribute Tribe out. See you.